Is poverty essential to society? Worldwide, 47% people live below $6.5 per day. It's a question we rarely ask. But the answer may change the way you see the entire world. What if poverty isn't just an unfortunate condition of life? What if it's deliberate? A system built into society itself. Since childhood, we have been tamed into poverty, to keep wealth, power, and control exactly where they are. For thousands of years, poverty has shaped civilization. But today, with the rise of artificial intelligence, we may be entering a new chapter. One where poverty itself could become obsolete. Not because society is kinder or more generous, but because something far more powerful will replace it. Stay with me. This is not just about money. It's about control. Money, services, either physical or spiritual. They are locked in an endless dance. The poor need money for survival and to meet their basic needs. The rich need services from others to enjoy life, fun, and pleasure. And it's natural. So money trickles down as a wage to those who provide services. And services flow upwards, in the opposite direction. It sounds simple, natural, and very familiar to you. But it's the foundation of everything around us. A billionaire's fortune, which enables him to enjoy his privileges, only matters because others exist in poverty. The rich are rich because others are poor. This is a rule that has shaped our society over thousands of years. Wealth itself alone has no meaning, without poverty beneath it. Here's the key. Poverty is not just a condition or accident. It's a well-calculated measurement that you rarely notice. The poverty line isn't just a statistic in a report. It is the reference line that defines what wealth means. If you are close to that poverty line or datum, you're pressured to trade your time, your energy, your skills, just to survive. But if you're far above that line, you enjoy the privilege of consuming services created by those below it. This is why money seems to trickle down as wages, but then, mysteriously, evaporates back upward into the hands of the wealthy. The cycle is not random, but it's systematic. So who protects this system? Who makes sure the poverty line never disappears? Governments, global powers, and their associated financial institutions. And they do it with tools that look harmless to the majority of people, but are devastating in effect. Watering, print more money, and devalue the currency. Inflate the economy, create an asset bubble, and spread a false hope that everyone can become a millionaire. Erode savings due to inflation and fewer job opportunities. Scale up. Massive projects that are not sustainable. Swollen budgets. Welfare that looks generous, but barely works. Robbing the majority of the money. Taxes everywhere. Hidden costs that eat away at income. Corruption. Pseudo-fairness. Insider deals. Rules designed to benefit the few. The orchestrator is a governing system. The result? Poverty doesn't shrink. It stabilizes. It becomes the driving force, an engine that keeps the social systems running. Governments may claim to fight poverty, but in reality, they manage it. If this sounds far-fetched, let's look at history. Ancient Rome depended on slaves who were brought to Rome from everywhere it occupied, and poor citizens to keep the empire functioning. Medieval Europe built its economy on serfs and peasants. The Industrial Revolution relied on child labor and sweatshops, not by accident, but by careful design. And today, sweatshops in many developing countries, underpaid gig workers, migrant labor, different names, but in the same destination and the same purpose. But what about the middle class? Not rich, but financially stable. Not poor. For decades, it was the dream. Financial stability, a good education, home ownership, comfort. But the middle class is a problem for the system. Why? Because they are less desperate, less dependent, harder to control. When people aren't fighting to survive, they ask dangerous questions, they seek fulfillment, they resist for human rights, fairness, and justice. And so, across the world, the middle class is shrinking. Housing prices soar, wages stagnate, debt explodes. Piece by piece, they're pushed closer to the poverty line. But now, something new is emerging, something that may change the rules of control. For thousands of years, poverty was the lever of power. But with artificial intelligence, the wealthy have discovered a new lever. AI can monitor behavior, predict choices, shape decisions, and the wealthy elites, corporations, governments, and global rule makers are racing to seize that power. Until now, poverty forced people to sell their time. But with AI, control can bypass money entirely. It can go straight to monitoring, influencing, directing human activity. Imagine a society where poverty isn't the tool of control. Instead, algorithms are. Your spending habits, your searches, your social connections, even your thoughts, predicted by data models. This isn't science fiction. It's already here. Social media feeds manipulate emotions. Recommendations shape beliefs. Surveillance tracks every click, every step, every purchase. And AI is accelerating this process. The wealthy no longer need poverty to keep society running. They have something stronger. Direct control through data. Listen to the words we hear today. Globalization, NGO, Greenpeace, and many others. Integration, common values, streamlining, sharing. On the surface, they sound positive. But they all point to one destination. Centralization, one system, one standard, one control, different words. Same result. For the first time in history, it may not be poverty that holds society together. It may be surveillance and absolute control. So let's return to the question, is poverty essential to society? For centuries, the answer was yes. Poverty kept the engine running, but in the age of AI, the answer may soon be no, because poverty is being replaced, not with equality, not with fairness, but with something more absolute, a future where every activity, every choice, every movement is overseen by a single power. In that world, poverty is no longer necessary, because control is complete. Is poverty being phased out, only to be replaced by something far more powerful? And if that's true, what does it mean for freedom, for individuality, for the future of humanity itself? The cycle of money may one day end, but the cycle of control might just be beginning. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe poverty is essential, or do you think it's already being replaced? If this video made you think differently, like, share, before the future arrives.